Hello, world. It is your friend, Patriotic Hemorrhoid. As you can tell, I have shaved my face, chopped off my hair. But this is not a video about my pretty looks. Okay? It's not. This is a video about gun control, mass shootings, and how to prevent them. First off, if you're stupid enough to think that giving up your guns is going to protect your family, then I'm sorry. Go jump off a bridge. You're a fucking idiot. And killing yourself and killing your family is literally the exact same thing you're doing by telling your family they can't have a gun. They can't protect themselves. Trust the military, trust the police to protect you. You're a fucking idiot. Look at literally every freaking tyrannical government. If the only people allowed to have guns in tyrannical governments are the police and the military. And it's funny, all you left-wing people are saying that Donald Trump is the next Hitler. Hitler's was a tyrannical regime. No one will deny that. No one will sit there and say, no, Adolf Hitler was one of the greatest people on the planet, blah, blah. No, the fuck he wasn't. He was a horrible, horrible, horrible human being, and the entire world is better off with him dead. Everyone is better off with Adolf Hitler dead. Everyone is better off with the Nazi Party gone. Now, granted, there are idiots out there that are neo-Nazis. Fuck you. Now, end of that tirade. But it's funny, you sit there and are comparing President Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler, one of the worst tyrannical governments ever, and yet you're wanting him to confiscate everyone's guns. You're wanting the person who is in charge of a tyrannical government, as you like to say, to have only the military and the police have guns. Do you see what's wrong with that picture there? Oh, we don't want a tyrannical government. We don't want Donald Trump because he's a tyrant. We're going to give a tyrant our guns and make it only that the military, who is directly controlled by the president, we're going to make it where only them and the police have guns. It's going right over your fucking heads. Because you want to fight against tyranny. You don't want tyranny, but you want somebody who you're saying is a tyrant to be in charge of the only guns in the country. You're a fucking moron. And gun control doesn't work. Gun control is not going to protect our kids. It's not. And you sit there and say, well, you're wrong because these politicians say that we don't need guns to protect us. These Hollywood superstars, these musicians, all say we don't need guns to protect our kids. Who protects them? Men and women with guns. Who protects our banks? Men and women with guns. Who protects the schools that these politicians and these TV and movie stars and these musicians, who protects the schools where their children attend? That's right, men and women with guns. They're not protected by a gun-free zone sign. They're protected by armed security. Interesting. And yeah, a bank sits there and has a sign that says gun-free zone. And it also has armed security. Right? A lot of them do. Why? Because if a person sees a gun-free zone sign, they're not going to sit there and think, oh, good golly gosh, I can't do this horrible, horrible crime that involves my guns because guns are illegal. It's illegal to have a firearm there. No! If a person's planning to shoot up a school, and that school says gun-free zone, they're not going to be like, well, darn, I was planning on committing the illegal act of murder. Mass murder, by the way. But because the weapon of my choice for committing this murder, this mass shooting that I was going to do, is banned, it's illegal to bring that onto this premises, I guess I just have to go home because it's illegal for me to use the object that I was going to use to commit an illegal act. Well, do you hear how stupid that sounds? Do you really hear how dumb that sounds? No criminal is going to sit there and be like that. They're not. Here's what an actual mass shooter's thought process is going to be when they see gun-free zone. Oh, good golly gosh, it must be Christmas for me. I get to come in here and kill as many people as possible before the police manage to get there between 15 to 45 minutes as the estimated arrival time. I get to kill as many people as possible. And then, if they're anything like the cops from Parkland, Florida, I'm going to get to kill more people even after they show up because they're going to be too cowardly little cunts to actually come in here. So they're aiding and abetting in my crime by not trying to stop me when it is their job and they have the material, they have the equipment to stop me. That's what they're going to be thinking. If you think I'm wrong, pay attention to where the mass shootings have been happening. They have been happening at places that have a sign that says guns are not allowed on the premises. And you might sit there and think, you might be saying, well, patriotic, if everyone were to get rid of their guns, that's the thing. Everyone won't. Good, honest, law-abiding citizens will be the only ones that disarm themselves if guns become outlawed. And a lot of them, I've spoken to quite a few, that if guns became illegal to own, they would be like, well, I'm a criminal then, because I'm not getting rid of my guns. I'm not getting rid of my way to protect myself. Because, let me put this out there. There was this retarded movement a while back, either last year or early this year. It might have still been going on this year. I don't know. I can't remember. But there's this retarded movement where people were putting red light bulbs in their outside lights, in their outside light sockets to signify that their home was a gun-free zone, was a gun-free home. There were others that didn't have those lights in those same neighborhoods. Criminal shows up. Regular light, regular light, regular light, green light saying they support the military or are military or former military. Regular light, regular light, regular light, red light. Oh wow! A place that has no guns. And people got their houses robbed. The people that had those red lights were robbed. And it's funny. The left wing is constantly yelling and screaming that the police are bad, the police are evil, the police are racist, blah, blah, blah. Which I will admit, there are racist cops out there and they need to be arrested because they are using their position as police officers to harass innocent black people, innocent Hispanic people. Those people need to be arrested. They need to never be allowed to be a police officer again. And they need to be put in prison with a felony, making it so they can never own a gun. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Abso-fucking-lutely agree. Now, the majority of our police force, and I live in the South, okay, a place that the left wing continuously is trying to say everyone in the South that is white is racist. You're fucking retarded. You are completely fucking retarded. In fact, 9 times out of 10, I will choose a girl of any other ethnicity than white to be with. I mostly can't stand white people because, unfortunately, nowadays, most white people are trying to pretend that they're straight out of the ghetto. They act like they're ghetto. They're not. Now, if you are a black person or a Hispanic person from the ghetto, I'm pretty sure that kind of shit offends y'all because y'all are trying to make a life for yourselves outside of that. And people are trying to make it seem like being a ghetto thug is the way to be because they're trying to be culturally sensitive. It's not a cultural thing. It's really not. It's a regional area thing. And most of the time, the black or the Hispanic people that I meet are trying to be as far away from ghetto as possible. Especially if they are from the ghetto. They're trying to get away from it, trying to get out of it. See the difference? People that are actually from that locale want to escape it, want to make a better life for themselves. Full support, full love. I pray to God every day that you guys manage to make a perfect, wonderful, comfortable life for yourselves and your families where y'all are safe and secure. Now, back to the main part. I live in the South, where supposedly everyone is racist if you're white. And here's a funny little tidbit of info. I have yet to see somebody of any ethnicity be harassed by the police because of their ethnicity. I have been pulled over simply because I was white and I was walking home at night and there had been a fight between a white person and a black person. The black person called the police. The white cop pulls me over while I was walking, runs all of my information to make sure I wasn't the perpetrator. So, that's pretty fucking funny that supposedly we're all racist. If that was the case, then the black person who called the police on the white person who attacked them would have been the one getting harassed by the cops, not me. Fuck you. Now, all you left wing are sitting there saying that cops are racist and all that shit, and yet you want only the cops to be the ones to have the guns. If the cops are racist, why do you want them to be the ones with guns? Make up your fucking minds. Do you want to disarm the police? Do you want the police to be the only ones with guns? Y'all keep flip-flopping. Yes or no? And you think that getting rid of guns is going to protect your kids. It's not. Raising your kids, raising them to be decent human beings, will protect kids. Raising kids to care about life will protect kids. Raising kids to understand that if I kill this person, they're not going to respawn in a couple of hours, will help your kids. Raising kids to understand that the entire universe does not revolve around them, and if you disagree with them, then you don't have any right to live. That will protect your kids. Raising kids to not bully kids because they're different will protect your kids. And trying to sit there and say that, oh, well, if bullying was the cause of mass shootings at schools, then there'd be a lot more gay or bi or trans students killing. How do you know they're not? Did those kids that sat there and shot up those schools, did they sit there and walk in and say, yeah, I'm a heterosexual white male, fuck all of y'all, and start shooting? No. And if you look back, 99.9% of them, they were the ones getting bullied all the fucking time because they were different. They looked different. Whatever. So, you tell me, how is trying to disarm innocent people going to protect them? And I don't even have to try to say, let's pretend that gun control happens, that guns are outlawed. Because there are cities in this country where guns are illegal, where it is illegal to own a gun, to carry a gun, any of that. You'll get a few years in prison for owning a gun. A woman was driving from Pennsylvania, and she was driving through Chicago. She had her concealed carry license from Pennsylvania. She didn't even have her gun concealed. She had it in open view in her vehicle. Was driving. She got pulled over. Completely simple thing. Taillight was out. Gets pulled over in Chicago for a busted taillight. Cop comes up, taps on her window, sees the gun. She gets arrested, gets her gun confiscated, and spends either 2 or 3, I can't remember which, but either 2 or 3 years in prison for legally owning and carrying a gun in another city, in a city that guns were illegal. Do you see how fucking retarded that is? She's allowed by state law, and even in Illinois, state law, guns are not illegal, but in Chicago, they are. Wait a minute, that can't be right. Chicago, one of the places here in America that has the absolute strictest gun laws. But no, that can't be right, because Chicago also has the highest gun murder rate in the country. And because of Chicago and Detroit, and I believe Washington, D.C., and I also believe New York City, places with super high gun control, and places in California that have super high gun control laws. Because of that, America is one of the highest ranked countries in the world for gun violence. Yet you take those cities that have those super high gun control laws out of the equation, and we drop to one of the lowest gun murder countries in the world. One of the lowest. But wait, that can't be right, because according to the left, gun control is the only way to protect our children. Gun control is the only thing that'll work. And you might say, well, patriotic, that's full of shit. No. Look up the actual fucking shit. Go to the FBI. Go to the FBI information. The FBI statistics on gun murder. And also, believe it or not, down here in the South, where guns are very, very widely owned, we don't have very many murders. We don't have very many mass shootings in comparison. We really don't. Why? Because some stupid motherfucker decides they're going to try that shit. They're going to get shot. Person tried to rob a gas station. Tried to rob a little gas station convenience store at gunpoint and got shot by literally every person in the fucking store. That was down here in the South. We have a fucking gun range just across the street and a little ways over from a school, from an elementary school, and there's no mass shootings. Nobody is shooting up that school. Why? I mean, that can't be right. There's a gun range, lots of guns, lots of ammo, go right across the street, and there's a school. But no one's getting shot. Huh. Now how can that be? If guns are evil, guns are bad, guns kill people, how can that be? Oh, wait. They're not. I can kill anybody on this planet with this pen. I can kill anybody on this planet with it. This knife right here, I can kill anybody on this planet with it. Plain and simple. Just because I can do it doesn't mean I will. In fact, even though I can do it, I'm not going to. I don't want to. I am a pacifist. I actually hate violence. I am trained in violence. I am trained to kill. I'm not trained to fight. I'm not a fighter. I'm trained to kill my enemy, to kill my opponent. That's how I have been trained. That is how my martial arts trained me. That is how every bit of training that I have ever done has been. Your enemy comes at you, they are attempting to take your life or the life of someone else you love. Take them out. I am quick, I am efficient. I also don't use it. I don't do it. Why? There's no need. There are multiple guns in this household. Multiple. None of them have been used for murder. None of them have ever killed anyone. There are times that my sister has been home alone while me and my brother, her husband, were gone doing something or another. Those guns never killed her. Ever. Many a time, my brother was home alone because my sister was at work, I was at work, and he was at home. We come home, he hasn't been shot, the guns haven't shot him. They're exactly where they were left before we left. Same with my swords, same with my knives, same with my solid steel nunchucks. A weapon is a tool. Can be a tool for peace, can be a tool for war, can be a tool for violence. It all depends. We've got a shotgun. We've got rifles. You know what those get used for? Hunting. You know what that shotgun almost got used for last night? Home defense. You know what that shotgun was not used for last night? Because it wasn't needed? Home defense. A gun is a tool. It is an inanimate object. A bullet is an inanimate object. It is a tool. It's just like a nail with a hammer. The gun's the hammer, the bullet's the nail. And if you don't like that analogy, you're a fucking idiot. It's actually a perfect one. Unless you're like me and have been trained to, like, this kettlebell, I can kill somebody with. So unless you're like me and you're trained to use literally anything around you to kill an enemy, hell, the phone I'm recording this video on can be a lethal weapon in my hands. I am not trying to brag. I am using this as an example, as a statement that gun control is pointless. Because if somebody wants to commit murder, they're going to find a way. End of story. They're going to find a way. If there are no guns, because centuries ago, thousands of years ago, man was killing each other and there weren't guns. Back before there was even archery, before bows and arrows or crossbows existed. Hell, look in the Bible. Genesis. Freaking Cain murdered Abel with a fucking rock. A rock. The fuck? You can't... You can't prevent murder from happening by getting rid of guns. You can prevent gun murder from happening by getting rid of literally every single firearm that exists. That's it. And I don't mean banning them. I mean literally finding every firearm on the planet, taking them all, destroying them, and destroying the knowledge of how to make them. And that's the funny thing. People are going to figure out how to make more guns. They might not be like a Colt 1911. They might not be like a Taurus 9mm. They might not be like a Mossberg shotgun. They might not be like an M1 Garand rifle. They might not be like the super scary AR-15 assault rifle. Which, by the way, my buddy, my roommate, my brother, is ex-military, medically retired. And he'll tell you straight out. And, by the way, his military service, he was boots on ground. He was an 11 Bang Bang, which is 11 Bravo. That was his MOS. And for anyone who does not know military MOS, MOS is mode of service or method of service, depending on how you want to translate it. And here's the fun thing. An 11 Bravo is infantry. the people that are trained to kick in the doors and gun down the freaking enemy insurgents. That was his job. His job was to kill bad guys. His job was actually out there in the war zone, getting shot at and shooting at people. So you're like, oh, well then he was using an AR-15. No, the fuck he wasn't. He was using an M4 carbine. You want to know how I know for a fact? Because when I was at basic, M4 carbine. I didn't ever actually go through, but that's because of personal family problems, that I did not complete training. I was 2 days away from it, but that's neither here nor there. He was United States Army infantry. And he has a few confirmed kills on his belt. He's even got the paperwork from where he had to go to court to defend his kills. Which every single one of his confirmed kills, he had to go in front of a court, in front of a judge, and defend himself why he did it. Do you understand that? The implication? Our military, our government makes our soldiers explain why they killed someone in a war zone for the sole purpose of making sure that they're not just committing murder. So he's got the paperwork that proves it. And he's told me straight out. He's told so many people, and he gets so pissed off when people try to say that the AR-15 is a military assault weapon, because no soldier in their right mind would go out there and try to fight a war with an AR-15. No one. You can't do. I mean, you can do it, but they're going to laugh at you while they're blowing your freaking head in half. An AR-15 is not a weapon. It's not a weapon for mass murder. It's not a weapon for the military. It is a hunting rifle. It is designed. It looks the same as an M4 and as an M16, but it looks like that because the M4 and the M16 bought the design for it because it's more tactical design. It's literally it. People are trying to ban the AR-15 because it looks scary. The shotgun I've got here at the house does way more damage than an AR-15. Way more lethal than an AR-15. Because with an AR-15, I would have to be a very precise shot. Because it's 22 LR freaking rounds. 22 LR. That's 22 long rifle. 22 caliber. Not a big thing. Not a super powerful fucking gun. But it looks scary. And because it's shooting people that do not have body armor, it's doing a pretty decent amount of damage. But it is, you can modify it to be semi-automatic, but an AR-15 is just a hunting rifle. It's just a sporting rifle. It's not military. Now, if the person was showing up with an M4 carbine, okay, there's something wrong there, because that's a military-grade weapon. But they're not. They're showing up with a very simple, easy-to-obtain firearm. But the point of this entire video is, if you think making stronger gun control laws is going to help protect innocent people, you're an idiot. If you think disarming good, honest, law-abiding citizens is going to magically disarm a freaking... It's going to magically disarm the gangbangers and the rapists and the murderers out there. It's not. And if you think that Trump is a tyrant, and yet you want the tyrant to take away your guns, you're a fucking idiot. You're going to call him the next Hitler. Don't give him the power that Hitler had. Don't take away the power that the people had to protect themselves against Hitler by giving the guns and giving up the right to own them and the right to defend yourself to the person you're comparing to Adolf fucking Hitler. Because if you do that, say you're right. Say he is the next Adolf Hitler. Say he is a genocidal, tyrannical person. Why do you want him to be the only one in control of the firearms? You don't. Honestly, if you genuinely think that Donald Trump is a tyrant, you should want to make sure you are armed. You should want to make sure your household has ample guns and ammunition to defend yourself against a tyrant should he come knocking on your door to steal your guns. So, I'm just saying, think logically. And think for yourselves. Don't let CNN or MSNBC or Fox News or anything. Don't let anything, even me, don't let me or anyone else tell you what to believe, tell you what to think. Do the research for yourself. Get the statistics. Get the information. And apparently, seeing as how you are all jumping to defend the FBI, saying that they are the epitome of honesty with the Hillary Clinton scandal, the Trump Tower spying and everything that was going on, all of those different scandals during the Trump campaign and during Hillary's entire time in office and everything, since you guys are so quick to believe anything that the FBI says, then you should have no problem looking at the FBI's statistics on gun murders. You really shouldn't. Which, by the way, trying to say that the white cops are just targeting black folks and killing black folks, if you pay attention, if you look at the statistics, most of the homicides involving black people are committed by black people. So, statistically, your whole argument, everything about it is full of shit. So, look up the stats, think for yourself, God bless.